Hey everyone, this is Tess Gascon with the Wheaton team. I'm here with Kobi Rex from Bay Equity to talk to you a little bit about Airbnb and VRBO properties. So, Kobi, what does someone need to consider before financing in order to qualify for an Airbnb or VRBO property?
So the biggest thing they're going to need to do first is they're going to just have to look at get with a good lender, because that's a huge first step. After that, they need to figure out kind of whether it's going to be, if they live within 35 miles of the place where we're at, then they're going to have to do an investment property. The rates are a little bit higher there. They're going to see about a full percent higher than if you're more than 35 miles away. You can actually do what's called a second home financing, and your rates are pretty much the same as doing a single property, but it's a good deal. So pretty much you got to make sure you have the income requirements, and then after that, I think one of the big things is you got to make sure in the long term the profitability is good. So I think that there's a lot of costs. So what are the costs that you've seen?
So some of the things that I think they would need to consider is just the full part of the down payment that's going to be associated with the loan. And then also probably want to look at the utilities, if they're going to need a property manager, cleaning fees, any of their maintenance fees, anything that is going to require like the furnishings and keeping up with all of that. And then, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, why would you want a property manager? Because I know a lot of people that I'm talking to about think, I really don't want to worry about having somebody else do it for me, because I can take a few minutes to do a few of the things, but what are some of the big advantages of having someone that's like a property manager?
So some of the benefit is if there's something that happens in the middle of the night, you get a call from one of the tenants, you don't have to show up. They'll show up for you. They'll take care of all of the contacting people for repairs, dealing with all of that. And then also too, making sure that if there's coordination with the cleaning people, with any of the maintenance people, anything like that, so that you are really kind of hands off and you don't have to deal with it, especially for those people that work full time and have other things going on.
So are there like any additional rules? Because I know that I think my parents have an Airbnb in Florida. So I think they mentioned something about there's like a local coordinator, or I think there's names like Superhost or something. How does that work?
So same thing, kind of just kind of making sure that Airbnb and VRBO all require that you have someone that's within an hour to come and assist with any emergency or any kind of hiccup that can happen with the tenants that are staying there. So if you're not within an hour, say you're out of state or you're out of town or anything like that, you're going to have someone that's going to be available 24/7.
Cool.
So, yeah. And then one of the other things that you really have to consider is Airbnb and VRBO each charge about 3% of your profit. So you just kind of have to make sure that when you're looking at something, you're going to make enough money to not only cover your costs, but for it to be profitable for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you have any tools or anything that can help me look at whether something's profitable like that?
We do. So definitely one step would be getting with you guys at Bay Equity, but then also too, we have this really cool tool called HomeBot, and say that 3 times fast. And it's kind of going to be able to set out and see any property that you'd like, what your costs would be versus profit, and kind of give you some focus so that you can actually see numbers and the possibility. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So anything else that you have to add to think of or consider before buying Airbnb?
I think it's going to be a huge thing for the next years to come. In Colorado Springs, they're actually thinking about doing some ordinances to make it considered commercial property. So I think there's a lot of things that it's a really cool thing to do. I know for me, I've enjoyed it a few times staying there. So I think as long as you have a great lending partner and a great realtor that kind of knows what your goals are, I think that'll make it where it can be a great investment, very low stress, and can be a fun time to get to share your property with other people.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the info. Thanks for watching, guys.